Hi guys, so this video is all about building your portfolio before you apply for your first job in the UK. But before I do that, I want to talk about why I am making this video. So it is just really an update of the current situation, the current job situation in UK. If this was 2018, the year which I came in the UK, I wouldn't have made this video. I had nothing on my portfolio. I straight away went for an interview, got my job. It took me about 2-3 months after applying for about more than 100 odd jobs, but I got 5 or 6 interviews and finally I got my job. I did not have anything on my portfolio. I did not do anything else as such because I was getting interviews. But we are in 2021 now. So things have changed. The competition has increased. From what I am aware from my consultants in my department, for every one post, there would be at least 5 or 6 applicants. Okay, I'm talking only about the non-training jobs. So we do need to focus on some things, and there are some things you need to do and have on your portfolio to increase your chances of getting a job in UK. All right, that being said, something else has changed as well, which is getting into a training job, getting into a residency has become easier. I'm not going to focus on that, why it has become easier. I will talk about that in subsequent videos, but just wanted to give you an update about the reality at the moment. This doesn't mean that I'm discouraging you. I'm making all these videos just because I want to encourage you to come to UK. Okay, otherwise I won't be making these videos really. Only thing is the competition has increased, but it has increased anywhere in the world. You name any country, okay? There are more doctors graduating every year, so competition is bound to increase. So you cannot expect it to go down. So you have to work more harder than before. All right? So the way I'm going to talk about this portfolio is I'm going to show you a sample of a job advertisement on the NHS Jobs website. This is the website where you will be applying for all your non-training jobs. So I'm going to show you on the screen what all things they want you to have. Now, first thing, which I will be talking again and again in the video, is different jobs have different criterias. Bigger hospitals, they want more from their candidates, okay? The smaller hospitals, they're not looking for much, okay? So I will take that example, that sample as a guide for the rest of the video. All right, so let's have a look into it. So this is the NHS Jobs website from where you will be applying for all the non-training jobs. Let's look at an example. This is a job advertised for a general medicine post at the level of FY2. Let's scroll down and go to something called as the person specification. This is what we are looking for. This will be mentioned in all the jobs which have been advertised on this website. So when the HR is going to look at all the applications which have been received for this particular job, they will be looking at all these criterias. So you definitely need to have all the essential criterias on your CV, and anything which is mentioned in the desirable criteria will give you additional weightage. So what I'm going to do is I'll copy some of these things onto a whiteboard, and I'm going to use this as a guide to build your CV. All right, let's move over to the whiteboard then. So I have broken down the different parts of the person specification, and I will go over them one by one. Okay, now before I start, I just want to make a point that all the different jobs will have different criteria for their application. Okay, so for example, if you're applying for a big tertiary hospital, they might ask for a few extra things, and they will be mentioned in the essential criteria. So they, for example, it could be previous experience of working in surgery of at least 1 year. Okay, so they will look for that in your portfolio. But if it's a small hospital or maybe a district general hospital, like the hospital where I am working in, they usually don't ask for many things. They just ask for some of the basic things. Okay, so let's go over that one by one. So I'll start with qualifications. Again, essential and desirable criteria. So you definitely need to have the essential criteria on your application to be considered for the interview. The first criteria is medical degree. Second criteria is GMC registration. Pretty much straightforward. Most of you will have these two things on your portfolio. Desirable criteria could be having an additional degree, something like MD, MS, PG diploma, PG cert. Again, this will be for an application to a tertiary care hospital. Okay, the big hospitals, they might be looking for that. So people who are applying for that, they might have additional degrees, and they will have that advantage over recent graduates. Okay, so that's the first section of the person specification, qualifications. Let's move on to the second one. Second one is experience. This part is the most important. I'll tell you why. So, essential, desirable. Forget about this part. Okay, if you are a new graduate, if you're coming to UK for the first time, if it's your first job, having a previous NHS experience is desirable, but most of the hospitals, they wouldn't be looking for that if it's an FY2 level job. Okay, focus on this part. What is essential? Familiarity of UK hospitals. Now, how are you going to achieve this? Because it's listed as essential. So you do need to show that you have seen the system of the UK hospital, of the NHS. So this is where clinical attachment plays a role. I'm not going to focus about clinical attachment in this video, okay, because I want to talk about this thing separately. But this here, clinical attachment, is the most important thing on your portfolio to get a job in UK, the first job in UK. All right, let's move on to the other sections now. The next part is the research section. So again, talking in terms of essential and desirable criteria, smaller or district general hospitals will only expect you to have a basic understanding of what is an audit or quality improvement project. They will just ask you questions regarding this in your interview. If you're applying to a bigger hospital, a tertiary care center, they would expect you to have done at least one audit or quality improvement project, plus minus have a few publication or one publication to your name. Okay, so my advice would be, if you have time, if you get the opportunity, do one audit project. It's more than enough. Okay, that shows enough commitment that you already know what it is and you've already done one. Okay, if you can't, just read about what is an audit or QI project. This can be done even before the interview, so you don't need to worry about this part. The next part, any extra courses or exams you might have done. So I've left the essential criteria blank because, again, smaller hospitals, they are not going to look for all of this. It's usually the bigger hospitals who might ask you that you should have cleared at least one part of MRCP or MRCS or whichever job you're applying to. If it's a job in Obsgynae, they might ask you, you must have completed one part of MRCOG. Okay, and they will ask for evidence of any courses or conferences you might have attended. So again, this is more for applying in a bigger hospital in a big city, London, Manchester, Leeds. All right, coming to the last two things. So let's talk about leadership and management. Again, this will be a section in the person specification. I've left the essential criteria blank. Let's talk about the desirable criteria, what they're looking for. So if you've got any experience of organizing any kind of event, it could be a teaching session for medical students, for nurses, it could be a local health camp. All right, so if you've got a certificate for any of these, it's going to give you additional weightage in your CV, because that shows that you've got some leadership and management skills. Okay, you might have even done all of this, but you just might not have the certificate. So if you have done this, please get a certificate made. It will help you. If you've not done this, it's okay. They are going to test your leadership and management skills in the interview. They will give you scenarios, they will ask you questions, and they will see how you respond. So again, if you have this, well and good. If not, don't worry. And the last thing is something called as flexibility. Not all hospitals will be looking for this. So what happens is, basically every NHS trust has got different hospitals. For example, my trust has got 5 hospitals. 2 of them are major hospitals. Other 3 are just minor injuries unit. So some specialties like ophthalmology, they require you to work across 2 hospitals. Okay, so if I'm living in one place, the other hospital might be about 30 minutes away from where I'm living, but you agree during the interview that you will work across both the sites. So it's just something trivial. Okay, I don't think so anyone has any problems with that really. So this shouldn't be an issue. Okay. So I hope I've been able to explain things clearly. I know you will have a lot of questions about the clinical attachment part, but as I said, I will talk about that in a different video. It deserves a special mention because it is the most important thing. Okay. So one last thing, there are a few people who might have already done some of these things. They might have prepared their portfolio already. I am happy to review them and help you enhance your portfolio. But to do that, I will have to, if you're asking me to do that, to review your portfolio, I would want a confirmation of your OAT or IELTS exam, okay? Because obviously a lot of you are still thinking about the process, and it's impossible for me to guide everyone. So if you have already booked your OAT or IELTS, or if you have given it, or if you are in different stages of PLABs, I'm happy to review your portfolio because I know that you are already on this path and UK is your destination. So I can do that, but only for people who are already on this path. Okay, so the next video will be about the clinical attachment. Take care till then.